If you see a mob storming into the Capitol, like, don't go in there. Don't go in there. Because didn't they arrest people that didn't go in?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, they put that one dude in jail from InfoWars. What is his name? Owen? Owen I forget how to pronounce it.
Infowars.com. Owen Schroyer.
His last name. But I think he went to jail for like 7 months. And he was never even there.
2 months.
What did he go to jail for? 2 months. 2 months. Was he sentenced for 7 months? Or was it 70 days?
Prosecutors said he, quote, helped create by spewing violent rhetoric and spreading baseless claims of election fraud to hundreds of thousands of viewers.
Wow.
Pled guilty to illegally entering a restricted area.
What area is that? So did he go into the Capitol?
Says he didn't enter the Capitol, but he led a march to the building and led rioters and chants. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
He's among only a few people charged in the riot who neither went inside the building nor were accused of engaging in violence or destruction.
That doesn't matter.
Here's where he fucked up. Should have joined the FBI first. If he joined the FBI and then did that, they'd be like, good job. You got everybody to go in there.
Crazy.
All right. Not bad, but I think we got to start something and get Owen Schroyer, or at least raise Owen Schroyer's awareness. Although Joe Rogan's familiar with him, get Owen Schroyer on Joe Rogan so he can talk about his 2 months in jail for speech and for his solitary confinement for COVID. All right, people, I'm slightly off center, and it's going to drive me ballistic. Here we go. How goes the battle, people? It's evening time. Good evening. Good super duper late evening in Europe and good afternoon in California. He was telling people not to go in. That might have been Alex Jones. Owen Schroyer was chanting 1776, whatever you interpret that to mean. Apparently words. Check ça bien. Hold on. Louis Beaupré. Viva, j'ai fini avec le Jimmy Dore Show et j'ai out le tien. Je out le tien tout de suite après. Je vais pas rater ton entrevue avec Vivek. This means, Viva, I just finished with Jimmy Dore. I actually don't know what joute le tien means. That might... maybe he's adding mine and he's going to come over and listen to it right after because he doesn't want to miss the interview with Vivek. So what happened here today, people? We'll get into some news. I didn't want to complicate the title with my interview with Vivek and... yes, I am live, John F. Kennedy. I didn't want to confuse the title with my interview with Vivek, which is pre-recorded. And let's talk about the Iowa shooter that story disappeared from the mainstream media headlines faster than I even knew that it didn't exist because I was in transit when this shooting occurred and it hit the news and disappeared from the news for reasons that we're going to see are patently obvious before I even heard about it. The only reason I heard about it was because I heard things about Iowa and I thought it was related to election stuff. Then I saw none other than Alex Stein, Primetime 99, Pimp on a Blimp, giving the police in Iowa a harder time than the media. It's an amazing thing. We live in an era where the comedians, where the podcasters, where the eccentric Canadians have become the press, the journalists, the truth seekers, not necessarily the truth tellers. And we're going to play all of this. Yes, by the way, and we also heard Bart Simpson. Nice to see you again, Bart. Supreme Court will hear Trump's whether or not they can keep him off the ballot. Because what's the latest state? The world is going... Hold on. The world is going flipping crazy. Some might even say it's going bat poop crazy. It's going guana crazy. Oh, so that's it. So basically, I did this interview pre-recorded with Vivek. It's not edited. It's just one unedited take. I equalized the audio because I think the audio was close, but I equalized the audio because Vivek is on the road in Iowa. He's literally in the RV. Going from one freaking stop to another. He's done 300 and some odd stops. I don't know how anybody does it. Forget age. I don't care that you're 25. It's not any easier to do this than it is if you're 50 or whatever. Vivek, holy sweet merciful crab apples, is grinding the pavement, hitting the pavement, whatever. He's working hard. He graced me with 50 minutes today, and it was a great interview. So I'm going to play that interview. I'm going to see, how would I go about doing this? I've got the video of the interview here. No, that's my computer screen. Hold on. I'm going to play the interview and then I'm going to go start a barbecue while I do that. So you guys are going to watch that. But until then, I'm going to cover just a few stories that I wanted to cover beforehand. But so here, this is the interview with Vivek. Let me see how we're going to make this happen. If I go present screen, share screen, go to window, and then I go here, and then I do this, and we're sharing it. Oh yeah, and then check this out. And then what we'll do is this. Who is that? Viva? Oh, tell me I didn't actually not... Oh, I'm such an idiot. The file I saved. No, that's not the right video. Either way, it's going to work. That's what it's going to look like. That was the intro where I didn't actually cut off the first 3 minutes. Yeah. Lynn2112, you'll be happy to know that we addressed this very same question during the interview. So, spoiler alert or teaser alert. Oh, tell me that you heard sound. Did you not hear sound when I did that? We didn't hear the audio in that video. Hold on. We're going to fix something in real time as I do this. I'm sweating already. All that you needed to do was tell me that you didn't hear the audio. Well, hold on. Let's just do one test before we get going. Close this. It was the Epstein. No, it wasn't the Epstein. That was a highlight. Okay, it's this interview right here. Boom shakalaka. Okay, now, tell me, we're going to do this. Studio StreamYard, share screen, window tab. Gosh. We'll figure this out. Just give me 1 second because it's important that we actually be able to hear the interview. Cancel. Present. Share screen. Okay, here. Here. Can you hear this? He didn't say good. People, can you hear the audio there? No. Hold on. I have a solution to it. Not go live. That's certainly not the solution. Hold on. We're just going to do it like this. I know that if I share screen, so I'm just going to upload the video to YouTube. That's going to be... Okay, let me just, this is Vivek. Okay, I'm going to upload this as we talk about the other stuff. Okay, that's it. Now, oh, don't you tell me that it's going to take 1 hour and 45 minutes to upload that. Monetize in all countries, okay. Oh. If you have any idea how much I'm sweating right now, I'm going to troubleshoot this in real time. No, hold on 1 second. We're not going to do that. We're going to leave ad breaks out. Okay. Okay, good. Discard changes. Next. Okay. Submit rating. So give me 2 seconds. I'm uploading this in the backdrop so that it will hopefully be ready, unlisted. And then I'll just share that screen as we do this. Whew. 10 minutes left. Okay, good. That'll take some time. So, everybody, we'll troubleshoot it, get this out of here. We will figure this out. It's going to happen. And I'm not going to have a mistake. So, whew. I missed the birth of my child for this first stream. Dude, Di Giovanni, get your priorities straight, or at the very least, multitask. Watch Viva while you watch another human come out of the legs of another human. For anybody who has never seen a delivery, hold on. For anybody who has never seen a child being born, there's a moment in time where there's one human with her legs spread and a human head protruding from her vagina. And that is the most alien image you can never get out of your head, ever, for the rest of your life. I mean, for those of you who've seen Total Recall, you might think like Kuato was kind of graphic, like, look into my eyes. And like you have a baby coming out of a human man's chest. Looking at a little purple head with a little bit of tuft of hair sticking out of a woman's vagina. You try to make a science fiction movie where that's the plot as to how humans reproduce in your science fiction movie, nobody would believe it. Yep, at a given point in time, a human comes out of another human. It's intelligent design. It cannot be an accident. Who tried but walked out? Dude, that's what GoPros are for. First of all, I did not walk out. I was there like, yeah. Let's see this. And then, for those of you who don't know, this is a funny anecdote. We'll get into a little story time before we get into the stream. When my wife was giving birth, and I want to say it was for our third kid, this was when I had discovered the world of GoPros. And so I had a GoPro, and I propped it on the dish tray, or the utensil tray, because it was a good angle right up the hrum. And so I put the GoPro there, and it was a great angle. I was going to just leave it record, and then the doctors come in, and they take their tray, and they go, "What is this?" It's like, "Oh, that's my GoPro." It's like, you can't put your GoPro on the tray of sterile utensils because that's a risk. I was like, "Oh, can I put it on my head strap?" And yeah, so that was it. Okay. Now I'm hoping that the solution that I'm getting here, okay, it's upload processing will begin. Okay, we are good people. Okay, so that's it. We're gonna watch the Vivek Ramaswamy interview on Rumble. So I'm gonna do the 3 stories that I have to do here, that I want to do here, that I want to cover. I didn't get to a car vlog today. I'm gonna try again, but I might still get to a car vlog, and that's it. Standard disclaimers. You know who I am. Viva Frei, Montreal litigator. Former Montreal litigator. Turned current rumbler of Florida. And I'm extremely happy to have gotten home to our beautiful home in Florida. Our beautiful home of Florida. Our beautiful Florida is home. I went for a drive today, and the sun is out. I saw birds, like just beautiful green sort of snub-nosed parakeets, ponds. I didn't see a gator today, but I saw iguanas. They were so, Anyhow, so that's it. Who recently moved to Florida? Tanif Stephenson. It's a beautiful place to move to. It's flat. It's boring. And Viva and Vivek. Okay, so that's it. So we're gonna watch the interview over on Rumble. Are we on Rumble? Now, I'm going to check out of the stream while we do that. We're live on Rumble. Are we live on vivabarneslaw.locals.com? We are. Good. All right. So the story that you may or may not have heard of, depending on when you tuned into the news, there was a school shooting in Iowa. I hate these stories. I hate the way they are immediately politicized. I'll say on both sides, but there is some... not politicization that is justified or understandable. There's some politicization where the solution is actually finding a solution, and then there's other politicization where it's distracting from the actual problem strictly for the purposes of appropriating the tragedy. We've got one of these. You may or may not have ever heard of it. People who are listening in the chat, watching. Have you heard about the high school shooting in Iowa that left 1 student dead, 5 shot, and the shooter, the killer, allegedly self-inflicted gunshot wound? Who's heard about it? You may or may not have heard about it because it disappeared from the news so quickly for reasons unknown, except the reasons are patently obvious when you get into it. And then once the reasons become known, well, then it becomes a question of reframing. Listen to this. This is out of Yahoo News. Oh, God, okay. The Advocate. What are they? Christopher Wiggins. Well, it's not Wiggum, so it's Christopher Wiggins. January 4, 2024. We're in 2024, people. Yahoo News. Right-wing influencers seem happy that Iowa school shooter might be LGBTQ+. Can you imagine anyone with the shameless audacity to run a headline like this? Whoever wrote this headline has cursed themselves to an eternal damnation in hell, is what I think. Whoever ran this, equally as well. Yahoo News, I would expect nothing less of the rubbish MSM digital outlets of the world. Right-wing influencers seem happy. Project much, you psychopaths? Seem happy that Iowa school shooter might be LGBTQ+. What does that mean? That means that whenever the shooter is white, the left-wing media seems happy that the shooter is white because they get to weaponize it for their political purposes. Nobody in their right mind is happy, period. The only people sick enough and demented enough to think that other people are happy because they would get to weaponize this tragedy, this atrocity, are people who are sick enough and demented enough in the head because they would weaponize an atrocity. And that's exactly what we got here. You got every fear hides a wish, which is nothing more than a form of projection. Ooh, I hope he's not a white shooter because then we get to weaponize it racially like they do over and over again, and I'll show you in a second. Right-wing influencers seem happy that Iowa school shooter might be LGBTQ+. By the way, from what I understand, it ain't might. You sick people, sick puppies. Following a tragic Thursday morning Iowa shooting at Perry High School in the town of Perry, where one child was killed, multiple people were seriously injured, and the suspected shooter died of a presumed self-inflicted wound. Right-wing extremists. You want to point out the fact that the shooter was, I don't know, whatever the hell, suffering from whatever the hell mental illness it is that leads to this? You want to point it out? You're a right-wing extremist. And influencers have centered on the shooter's speculated LGBTQ+ identity based on a pride flag emoji on a since disabled profile, TikTok profile. Well, that's a pretty damn good reason to suspect it. No? Can you imagine? They've centered on the shooter's speculated LGBTQ+. When I get to the examples where Yahoo News itself goes from race of the shooter to presumed racial intent, when other people do it, it's extremism, which means that when they do it, they know it's extremism. Keeping up with the latest, whatever. Late Thursday afternoon, Michelle Mortvet, assistant director at the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation, provided updates on the alleged shooter and the situation. Excuse me. The Perry Police Department responded to the active shooter event, and upon arrival, they found student and faculty either sheltering in place or fleeing the school. Inside, multiple victims with gunshot wounds were discovered. The shooter, identified as 17-year-old Dylan Butler, a student at Perry High School, was found with what appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Mortfit mentioned that Butler was armed with a shotgun and a handgun and made several social media posts around the time of the shooting. They confirmed that there were six students shot, one deceased. While law enforcement has not commented about the alleged shooter's gender identity or sexual orientation, it's interesting. Well, why wouldn't the law enforcement have commented about it if they had evidence about it? Why would the law enforcement have suppressed a manifesto for months, the disclosure of which had to result by leak? Well, it's amazing. Eh? They don't report on that which is potentially relevant, and then they do report on that which is arguably irrelevant, depending on the circumstances, ideologically motivated. Social media users focused on the appearance of a pride flag, not the guy including it. The appearance of a pride flag on an account allegedly linked to the shooter, and it led to the narrative amplified by right-wing influencers online. Ooh, I guess I'm a right-wing influencer. That account is no longer available, but screen grabs of its contents have circulated widely on social media. Interesting how they do that. Just disable it, delete it, and had nobody screen grabbed it or accessed it beforehand, it would have been memory hold so that narrative control could be maintained. Oh, well, if the shooter's white, maybe they can go with racism. Oh, the shooter's white and apparently LGBTQ+, whatever the heck the acronym is. Oh, shit, don't focus on that. That's irrelevant. You're a bigot. You're a right-wing extremist. Then we're going to go into this. Shia Rayshaker, known for running the anti-LGBTQ+. She's not anti-LGBT. She just amplifies them more than they ever needed. She's pro-LGBTQ+. She amplifies their stuff more than they could ever get amplification. They should be happy with it. That's what they put it on the internet for, isn't it? Libs of TikTok began posting hours before the shooter was identified, alleging him to be gender fluid based upon a hashtag allegedly included in the person's social media footprint. She later posted a meme inaccurately linking several mass shooters to LGBTQ+. Oh, really? Inaccurately, I'll keep that up open in the background. We'll come back to that in a second. Inaccurately. One might want to go back and look at the most recent mass school shooters and see if there's a common thread that goes a little bit deeper than skin color. Maybe. Elon Musk amplified this idea on his platform, Twitter. Oh my goodness. The meme referenced several shootings in Tennessee. Audrey Elizabeth Hale, trans, who police said identified as transgender. Yep. So where's the inaccurate part? A Colorado, Anderson Lee Aldrich, behind the 20Q shooting, was assessed by lawyers to be non-binary. So where's the inaccurate part? I'm sorry, hold on. Let me just back this up. Shia Raichik, known for running the anti-LGBTQ plus social media account Libs of TikTok, began posting hours before the shooter was identified, alleging he was gender fluid based upon a hashtag on his social media. She later posted a meme inaccurately linking several mass shooters to the LGBTQ plus community. You said the word inaccurately, Yahoo News. If I'm going to the second paragraph, the meme referenced Audrey Elizabeth Hale, identified as transgender. Okay, so far it sounds accurate. Anderson Lee Aldrich, the Q shooter, lawyer said was non-binary. However, this claim has been met with skepticism due to Albrecht's known anti... Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought the lawyers said it. My stupid face. Oh. In Denver, Alec McKinney, a transgender teenager, was involved in a 2019 shooting. All right. Snokia Mosley, identified as trans. Okay. So where the hell is the inaccuracy? I've got an open mind. Crucially, the meme included a photo that it claimed was the shooter from the 22 Uvalde massacre. The shooter was not the... Oh, so they got one person wrong, but 4 of the 5 right? Later, Raichik posted from her Ligs of TikTok, "This is the transgender fluid terrorist who shut up a school in Iowa today. Trans extremists are a serious threat. The media will bury this." Well, 2 parts of that seem to be relatively accurate. Holy crab apple. Can you believe what they try to tell you is news? That's unbelievable. So it seems that 4 of the 5 were in fact trans in recent memory. It's not a problem. There's nothing to notice there. While there have been isolated incidents involving transgender or non-binary people in mass shootings, these are not representative of the broader trend. Do tell us, you flipping liars. The predominant demographic of mass shooters remains cisgender men. Debunking the... Oh, I'm sorry. That's a conclusion. May I see your homework? May I see your homework? Yahoo. Okay. I don't care to read the rest of this. Shia Raichik, in her never-ending quest for clicks, is using a horrific shooting to try to drum up anti-LGBTQ plus hysteria for her cause. In truth, LGBTQ plus people are disproportionately impacted by gun violence. Committed by whom, if I may ask that obvious question, you jackasses? A reality made worse by those like her, who demonize the community at every turn and path. Okay. Everybody, here's the link. So it's bullshit, by the way. Just at the risk of stating the obvious, it's absolute bullshit. Hold on, I don't see the chat updating in here. Let me. We're still live, right? I don't know if I've crossed the YouTube overlords. Let me just see if are we still live on YouTube? Reload. Just gonna go ahead and reload this. Yeah. Okay, we seem to be still live here. Are we still live on Rumble? We are. Okay, good. Oh my goodness. No, just because 4 of the 5 that she identified happened to identify as trans, that's not representative of the broader trend. What is the broader trend? Well, let's just go over here. Ah ouais donc, c'est quoi ça? Est-ce que c'est ici? Non, c'est pas ça. Ça, c'est pour une autre histoire ici. J'ai enlevé ça. Where is the Yahoo News doing Oh, cripe. Did I not? I know that I have it somewhere here. Here we go. Remember when the right points out that the school shooter was trans, they're extremists and liars. When the left points out the shooter was white, they're fighting racism and the patriarchy. This is from the article. Right-wing influencers. Here's another Yahoo News article. Florida school shooting suspect was a white nationalist. I think this was Nicholas Cruz. Fairly certain this was debunked. white nationalists, because Cruz, a Latino last name, was a white nationalist. The Jacksonville shooting. 5 experts on the culture fueling racist attacks against black people. That's totally fine. Gunman who killed 10 people in racist mass shooting in Buffalo gets life sentence. When they do it, it's totally fine. When the right does it, it's because they're anti-LGBTQ2IA+. And ignore the fact that at least 4 recent mass shooters identified as trans. I'm sure it's a coincidence that people suffering from mental distress, gender dysphoria, mental illness would be prone to acts of violence, especially when people are prevented, almost by law, at least in Canada, from administering treatment to the mental illness, and instead have to affirm the mental illness, ratify the mental illness, encourage the mental illness, and then, holy shit, they go out and eventually, at some point, those with mental illness carry out acts of violence because of perceived slights, perceived injustices. But then they go censor the manifesto so that you never know about that. They go and censor the fact that these shooters suffer from mental illness. You never know about that. But when they're white, it's always presumed racism. Okay. I think that's it for that story. Almost it for that story. Pimp on a Emming F blimp. This is, listen to this. This is posted by Alex Stein. I'll give everybody the link in a second. The only one out there, whether or not his tactic is effective, they're not going to answer questions regardless. So shame them, blame them, and amplify the fact that they are covering for politics. Listen to this. That's, by the way, if you can't see Alex Stein, Primetime 99, Pimp on a Blimp in the backdrop, that's him there. Listen to this.
Special
Right
Agent Mitch Mortvet from...
First of all, if I may ask, how the hell did he get there? Just sitting in the back, just sitting in the back of a press conference with police officers. He's lucky he didn't get effing tased, at least. Listen to this.
Special Agent Mitch Mortvet from the Iowa DCI. They're following up on what Dallas...
Later on today, what you're seeing right now is behind me. It looks like a random journalist who's...
A random journalist, a right-wing extremist, asking the cops the questions that you coward with the mic is not asking.
Trying to get questions answered from the state troopers, but obviously, I mean, they've already said that they're not going to be taking any more questions.
And that's good enough for me. Hey, they said they ain't taking any more questions. All right, thank you. When should I come back? When will you be taking questions? When will you be releasing any manifesto? Oh, not now? Okay, thanks. When should I come back? Next month? Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm a journalist. Yeah, flipping cowards. This is fucking ballsy right here, by the way. Nothing more we're going to say. Thank you. We're done. We're done. We're not even going to tell you if anybody's dead. We're done. What do you come up and do nothing for? If you're going to come up and do nothing, don't come up. Shout out and credit to Alex Stein.
You guys aren't giving any information about anybody dying or anything? You don't think that people want to know if somebody died? You guys are too coward to tell us what happened. Do we not deserve to know?
No,
We don't deserve to know.
We're in our cars. We got our guns. You, Alex Stein, you don't got no gun. And by the way, if you had one, we'll tase the living bejesus out of you.
We don't get to know anything.
Look at his hands, by the way. Look at the hands. Look at the hands.
We don't deserve to know.
There you go. I am your overlord.
Y'all don't think this is ridiculous? Can you tell us what happened? Hey, we want to know what happened. If a kid died, you're going to hide that? You're a loser. You're a coward. Kids are dying. You're hiding the truth. You guys are cowards. What happened? We want to know what happened. Why don't you guys say what happened?
Look, because the dude might be LGBTQIA+.
You guys are too coward to say?
They got their guns. They've got their cars. They've got their own security. They're not at risk.
A kid could be dead. You guys won't say anything about it? You guys are pathetic. We don't.
Unbelievable that he actually managed to get in there. I don't know how he did that. I would not recommend that anybody do that. But thank goodness there are people like Primetime 99 Alex Stein, Pimp on the Blimp, who's going to do it. It's almost ridiculous that that's the name of the only truth teller, the truth seeker of the world today. Okay. I think we're getting ready. Hold on one second. Let me break this out here. Bring this down. Let me see what we got on the back. The Advocate. Why do I have Twitter The Advocate? Oh, these are two stories that I brought up for other reasons. What's this? What's this? Yeah, these are all segues into the next interview, okay, into the next Vivek Ramaswamy interview, which we're going to do right now. Citizens Free Press. Okay, here we go. Oh, everybody, let me get the link to Rumble. And everyone should start thinking about coming over there now because we're going to watch Christie. The link to Rumble is in the pinned comment. We're going to watch Christie, and I'm going to excoriate Christie on Rumble. If anybody wants to come and watch it on vivabarneslaw.locals.com, here's the link. Locals. Boom. I'm sweating so bloody hard under here. We're going to start with Christie to illustrate what a not corrupt, but corrupt career politician looks like. Whether or not Christie was a career politician in the sense that, like, okay, well, he had a job at once upon a time. After 10 years in office, after 10 years in politics, you're a career politician. How long has Christie been in politics for? Christie politics. Christie. Here we go. Let's do this. Let me just go. About Christie. Oh my goodness. Christopher James Christie. Here we go. How long's he been in politics for? American politician, former federal prosecutor who served as the 55th governor from 2010 to 2018. So that's already been 14 years. Career politician. Member of the Republican Party. He was the United States Attorney of New Jersey from 2002 to 2008. So he's been in politics for 22 years. How far back does this go? He was appointed in January 2002. Christie was elected as county freeholder legislator, serving from 95 to 98. So back to 95. Holy sweet, merciful crab apples. You've been in politics for that long and the world is in the state that it's in. You should voluntarily resign from politics for the rest of your life. But we're going to do this. I'm going to excoriate Christie on Rumble. Let me just put that there. Remove this out. All right, so we're going to go over to Rumble. Come on over. I'm going to back myself out of the stream at some point sooner than later to start cooking dinner and play the Vivek Ramaswamy interview. It's 50 minutes long. It's the greatest compliment ever when someone says, I got 30 minutes for you. And then we go 50 minutes and then you're like struggling to put it to an end because you don't want to be greedy with their time. I like it. We're going to end on YouTube right now. Come on over to Viva Frei on Rumble and vivabarneslaw.locals.com on